You are eating healthy, but your joints are on fire. What if I told you that your kitchen is a crime scene and that there are criminals hiding in there disguised as health foods? Today, we are not just giving you a list of foods. We are launching an investigation. You are going to become an arthritis detective. Welcome back to Healthier Daily, the channel where we give you the simple science-backed truths to live a stronger and more independent life after 60. I'm your host, Dr. Ben Carter. And to be our lead detective in this very important investigation, we are joined by a physician who has spent his life teaching the wisdom of looking for the hidden clues behind our most common health problems. It is our great honor to welcome Dr. Shigeaki Hinohara.
Thank you for having me, Ben. The metaphor of an investigation is a very wise one. And our investigation today begins with a case file. I had a patient, a wonderful woman, who was the victim of a silent crime. Her joints were being robbed of their peace and of their mobility every single day. She hired me as her private detective to investigate the crime scene, which was her own kitchen.
And that is exactly what our guide is all about today. In this detailed investigation, Detective Hinohara is going to walk us through his most wanted list of the 3 criminals that were hiding in this patient's kitchen and that are very likely hiding in yours as well. We will create a detailed profile for criminal number 1, the sweet saboteur. We will then unmask criminal number 2, the phantom menace. And finally, we will expose criminal number 3, the empty accomplice. It is a true blessing to have this kind of wisdom, to be able to shine a bright light on the hidden things that may be causing us harm. If you are ready to start your week by becoming a detective and solving the mystery of your own joint pain, please type the number 1 in the comments below. And be sure to subscribe to our channel. It's completely free. And this is an investigation that could truly change your life. Okay, Detective Hinohara, our investigation begins now. As we speak, it is late in the evening here in America, and many of our viewers are reflecting on the meals they ate today. Let's look at the evidence from our victim's kitchen. Who is the first and the most common criminal on your most wanted list?
Yes, our first and most wanted criminal is a true master of disguise. It promises you a brief moment of pleasure, but it leaves behind a long and a very painful trail of inflammation. I call this dangerous criminal the sweet saboteur, and its true identity is, of course, refined sugar. And for our victim, the woman with the painful joints, this saboteur was the primary culprit in her case, and it was hiding in a place that she believed was perfectly healthy. Every single morning she was eating a flavored fruit on the bottom, low-fat yogurt cup. She thought it was a very healthy choice, but in reality, it was the main source of the fire of inflammation that was burning in her body.
And this is such a common and such a deceptive hiding place. Let's create the official criminal profile for our viewers. Let's look at the modus operandi, or the method of attack of this sweet saboteur. When you eat a food that is high in refined sugar, especially on an empty stomach, first thing in the morning, it causes a massive and a very rapid spike in your blood sugar. Your body sees this as an emergency, and it responds by releasing a flood of those pro-inflammatory messengers that we have talked about before, the cytokines. You can think of these cytokines as being like the alarm bells of your immune system. They begin to race through your entire body, and they send a direct message to your joints to become swollen and painful. This is the saboteur's first wave of attack.
But the attack does not stop there.
It does not. This excess sugar that is now in your blood then begins a very damaging process that is called glycation. It begins to stick to the beautiful and important proteins in your body, like the precious collagen that is in your cartilage. And it forms very toxic and very damaging new molecules that we call advanced glycation end products, or AGEs. It is these AGEs that are responsible for making your beautiful and your flexible joint tissues become stiff, and brittle over time. So as you can see, this one criminal is attacking your joints with both immediate inflammation and with long-term structural damage.
So, it is a truly dangerous, two-pronged attack. So, Detective, how did you help your patient to be able to capture this dangerous criminal?
To be able to capture the saboteur, you must first learn to read its many different names on a food label. As you have said in a previous video, it has many aliases: sucrose, high fructose, corn syrup, dextrose. You must become a label detective, and then you must remove its favorite hiding place. And for our victim, the solution was very simple and very delicious. We had her swap her daily flavored, low-fat yogurt cup for a simple and a very beautiful bowl of a plain, unsweetened, full-fat Greek yogurt. And to this, she could add her own beautiful fresh berries for a gentle and a very natural sweetness.
And that is the perfect solution. The plain yogurt has no added sugar, so it does not trigger that terrible inflammatory spike. The healthy fat that is in the full-fat version actually helps to keep your blood sugar very stable. And the fresh berries provide their own healthy fiber and their own powerful anti-inflammatory antioxidants. You have arrested the criminal, and you have replaced it with a beautiful and a very healing ally for your joints.
It is a beautiful and a blessed feeling to be able to bring that kind of wisdom and of discernment to our plates, choosing the beautiful foods that heal over the deceptive ones that cause harm. So our first criminal, the sweet saboteur, has now been successfully caught and has been replaced with beautiful and delicious whole food alternatives. That is a huge victory for our joints. But Detective Hinohara, I know that your investigation did not end there. Who is the second dangerous criminal on your most wanted list?
Our second criminal is even more deceptive than the first because it often wears a very clever disguise of being heart healthy. This is the Phantom Menace, and its true identity is the unnatural man made trans fats. And for our victim, the woman with the painful joints, this phantom was a regular and a very unwelcome guest at her breakfast table. On many mornings during the week, she would have a store-bought brand muffin, truly believing that it was a high-fiber and a very healthy choice. But these commercial muffins are almost always made with margarine or with vegetable shortening, which are the main and the most dangerous hideouts for this silent assassin.
And Phantom Menace is the perfect name for it. Let's look at the criminal profile of this very dangerous fat so our viewers can understand why it is so destructive. As we have discussed before on this channel, these dangerous trans fats are created through the industrial process of hydrogenation, and they are a true double whammy for our entire cardiovascular system and for our joint health. First, they dramatically raise our bad and our inflammatory LDL cholesterol, and at the very same time, they actually lower our good and our protective HDL cholesterol. No other fat in our diet does this so powerfully and so destructively, but the damage does not stop there. These unnatural fats get incorporated into our very cell membranes, which makes them very stiff and very dysfunctional. This creates a state of constant low-grade inflammation throughout the entire body, which we can actually measure with the inflammatory marker in our blood C-reactive protein, or CRP. And for a person who is already suffering from arthritis, this is like pouring gasoline on an already burning fire.
And the great deception, the reason that we call it a phantom, is because of the labeling loophole.
That's exactly right. A product in the United States can legally say that it has 0 grams of trans fat on the front of the box, as long as it has less than 0.5 grams per serving. So you absolutely must read the ingredient list on the back of the package. and you must look for its dangerous alias, and that is the words partially hydrogenated oil. If you see those words, the phantom is in there, and you must put it back on the shelf. So it is a true deception. It is a silent assassin that raises our bad cholesterol, lowers our good cholesterol, and it inflames our entire body. So, Detective, how do we capture this dangerous phantom?
You capture this phantom by choosing the real and the honest fats that come from nature. For our victim in our story, the solution was to swap her daily store-bought muffin for a simple and a very delicious homemade one that she could easily make on the weekend. She would use a healthy recipe that was made with almond flour, and instead of the dangerous shortening, she would use a beautiful extra virgin olive oil or a small amount of a real grass-fed butter.
And that is the perfect and the most healing solution. The olive oil and the real butter are natural fats that your body recognizes and knows how to use. They do not have that dangerous and twisted trans fat structure. They provide your body with a clean source of energy, and in the case of the olive oil, their own powerful anti-inflammatory compounds. You have arrested the phantom, and you have replaced it with a true and a beautiful ally for your joints. It is a beautiful and a blessed thing to be able to bring the honesty and the purity of real whole foods back into our kitchens and into our bodies. This is such a deep and a very complete way of looking at our health, doctor. We love sharing it with our global community. To help us see our global community, please let us know what city, state, or country you are watching from. We love hearing from all of you. So we have now successfully unmasked the sweet saboteur and the phantom menace. We have arrested the hidden sugar in our yogurts and the dangerous trans fats in our pastries. These are two of the most wanted criminals for our joint health. But Detective Hinohara, you said that there is one final criminal on your list. Who is the third and final culprit that was lurking in our victim's kitchen?
Yes, our final criminal very rarely works alone. It is the perfect partner in crime to our other two criminals. This is the empty accomplice, and its true identity is the refined carbohydrates. And for our victim, the woman with the painful joints, this empty accomplice was always present at her meals. She would have her flavored yogurt with a piece of white toast in the morning, and in the afternoon, as a snack, she would often have some processed white flour crackers. She thought these were light and harmless choices.
And this is such an important accomplice for us to unmask. Let's look at the science of how it operates. Refined carbohydrates like white bread, white pasta, and white rice have had all of their beautiful natural fiber and all of their precious nutrients stripped away during the industrial processing. Because of this, what is left behind is a very fast-burning and an empty starch. And your body treats this fast-burning starch almost exactly like it treats pure sugar. It causes that same big and very dangerous blood sugar spike, which we now know leads to the immediate release of those inflammatory cytokines. And as the source text for our video so wisely notes, it also fuels that dangerous process of glycation, which is what creates the toxic and damaging advanced glycation end products, or AGEs. And it is these AGEs that are responsible for making our beautiful and flexible cartilage become stiff and brittle over time. So this empty accomplice is helping the sugar bandit to be able to do all of its dirty work.
So it is a true partner in crime. So, Detective, what is the final solution? How do we get rid of this accomplice and bring in a helpful ally instead?
You arrest this accomplice by simply swapping the empty for the whole. You will swap your white bread for a beautiful and a very satisfying 100% whole grain or a sprouted grain bread. And you will swap your white rice for a beautiful slow-burning grain like quinoa or brown rice. With this simple swap, you are bringing the healing fiber and all of the wonderful nutrients back to your plate. Now, Detective Hinohara, You have now successfully unmasked all three of the hidden criminals that were in your patient's kitchen. You have found the sweet saboteur, the phantom menace, and the empty accomplice. Let's close the case. What happened when your victim made all three of these simple and intelligent swaps?
This is the beautiful conclusion to our investigation. The case was solved. The patient who had hired me as her private detective learned how to read the labels on her food and how to spot these three dangerous criminals. She began to follow the simple swaps that we have discussed today in our video. She arrested the sugar, she arrested the trans fats, and she arrested the refined carbohydrates from her daily diet. She had successfully removed the daily source of fuel that was feeding the fire of her inflammation. And after a few months of this new and very delicious way of eating, she came to my office and she told me that the deep and chronic burning pain that she used to feel in her hands was finally gone. The terrible morning stiffness that had plagued her for years had disappeared, and the painful swelling in her knees had finally receded. The case was solved not with a powerful prescription from the pharmacy, but with simple wisdom in her own kitchen.
That is a truly beautiful and a blessed story. It is a powerful reminder that when we bring a little bit of wisdom and a discerning eye to our daily plate, our bodies have an incredible God-given ability to be able to heal themselves. Doctor, this has been an incredible and a very eye-opening investigation. You have pulled back the curtain on the most wanted criminals that are hiding in our kitchens, and you have given our viewers a clear and a very powerful way to be able to fight back against their chronic joint pain. Your arthritis detective protocol, where we unmask the sweet saboteur, the phantom menace, and the empty accomplice, is a revolutionary new way to think about our senior health. By becoming a detective of their own plate, our viewers can now stop unknowingly feeding the fire of their inflammation and can start to build a foundation of true healing. This knowledge is a true cornerstone of a proactive senior health strategy. It is a practical food-first way to fight back against the daily misery of joint pain and to live a more comfortable and a more mobile life. This is how we can find lasting relief from our joint pain. Now, Doctor, your arthritis detective protocol is a life-changing way of thinking about our food. For our viewers at home who are inspired to start their own investigation tonight, what is the most important and the wisest first step that they can take?
That is a wonderful and a very important question. The journey to a healing kitchen must always begin with one single gentle step. I will give you a simple 3-part action plan for your very first investigation. First tonight, your only job is to be a curious detective. I want you to go to your pantry and to your refrigerator. You will not throw anything away yet. You will simply pick up 3 of your favorite packaged foods and you will read the labels. Look for the many aliases of our criminals. Do you see the high fructose corn syrup? Do you see the words partially hydrogenated oil? You are simply gathering your intelligence. Second, you will identify one criminal. After you have looked at your labels, you will choose just one of our 3 criminals to focus on for this week, the one that appears the most often in your own kitchen. Is it the sugar saboteur? Is it the fat phantom? Or is it the empty accomplice? And third, and this is the most important step, you will make one simple swap. For this week, your only job is to make one single and simple swap. If you have identified the sugar saboteur in your daily flavored yogurt, you will buy the beautiful plain yogurt this week instead. It is one small and very intelligent move. This is how the investigation begins, and this is how the healing is won.
That is a perfect and a very achievable action plan.
I want to leave you with this one final thought. You must become the detective of your own kitchen. You must question every label. You must expose every hidden ingredient. Your health and your freedom from pain depend on your beautiful investigation.
That is a powerful message, Doctor. It's a wonderful reminder to be good stewards of our health by bringing blessed wisdom and a discerning eye to the foods that we choose to bring into our homes. And of course, it is absolutely essential that you speak with your personal doctor or a registered dietitian before making any significant changes to your diet, especially if you have existing health conditions. Please remember that our conversation today is for educational purposes and is not a substitute for the direct medical advice from your own trusted physician. If you found this guide empowering and it changed the way that you look at your own kitchen, please give this video a like so that others can find this vital information, and be sure to share it with a friend or a family member. If you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel. It is completely free and it ensures you will not miss our next practical health guide. And for our community discussion today, we would love to know which of these three criminals, the sweet saboteur, the phantom menace, or the empty accomplice, are you going to arrest from your kitchen this week? Please share your first step in the comments below. Thank you for being with us. Be well.